Hello everybody! Welcome back. I am here today doing a sit-down video for my bookshelf here because we're doing another book video. Turned into a booktuber. I don't know what happened, but it's fine. As you can see, I've got my Squishmallows lined up here. We're in the process of moving right now, so everything looks a little strange. I'm sitting on a couch right now that doesn't have the legs on it that we got on the street for our new apartment. So now we have two couches in this apartment. It's a mess. Anyway, today we are going to talk about summer book recommendations and my TBR, what I'm going to be reading this summer. I don't know if you've noticed, depending on where you are, I guess, it's like getting hot out, which is fine, but only because that means that spooky season is almost upon us. That's sometimes the only thing that keeps me alive. Anyway, so I'm very excited to read this summer. Usually the summer is like something in me happens and I just decide to read for like 7 hours a day. I don't know. I think it's like the school trauma of like being in school and like the only time you had to read into yourself was like the summer. So like when the summer comes, if I'm outside in the summer, I'm reading. And I never grew up with like a pool or anything, but it is my dream to read outside by the pool every day professionally. Otherwise, why summer? You know, it's hot. I live in New York City now, so like it's hot and just gross. But anyway, to make it better, I'm gonna tell you what books you might want to read this summer. I haven't actually read a lot of summery books. We'll get into the TBR after this, but there's a lot of books that I've read during summer that just they hit, you know? I'm not one of those people that usually likes to read like books about summer. I don't really like summer that much. Is that illegal to say? But these are the books that I've read during summer that feel like summer, or maybe they do take place in summer. Okay, my first recommendation, Throttled by Lauren Asher. And I've talked about this in the last video. I guess I'll just say these together. Throttled and Collided by Lauren Asher. There's actually 4 books in the series, but I still have only read these 2. I don't know why I haven't read the other 2. I'm not really sure. I'll get to it. Anyways, I recommend these books for the summer, mostly because I read them last summer and something about them just felt summery and like hot. Is that right? I don't know. Like this one, the main girl travels around the world, like to a bunch of different countries and stuff like that. And you can see on the back here, like, doesn't that look lovely? That looks amazing. So she travels around to a bunch of different locations and it's about F1 racing. So she travels with the racing circuit that they do to all the different countries and places, and it is so fun to read. I love this book anyway, like as a romance read, but I think it would really hit in the summer. Like that last year when I read it was so good. Like she's a little vlogger. It's so cute. It's amazing. I love it. It gives me really good summer vibes. And I think they go on like a summer vacation in this. I don't really remember. Yeah, so I recommend this one. That one's a really good summer book. Now this one, Collided, which is the second book, is about characters that are in the other book, but not the same characters. 2 different couples. And this one, I think it takes place in an actual summer. So she has this little bucket list that she wants to do, and I think over the summer, I could be wrong that it takes place during summer. I think it does. And over the summer, they complete it. Like she recruits this guy that they hang out with that she likes to complete it with her. Basically, he wants in on it. He wants to help her complete this little list. But I think they do a lot of fun, like summery activities. Again, it's like the F1 racing, so it has to do a little bit with that. But honestly, there's less racing in this one than there was in the other one. There's more, I'd say this one is more romance heavy and more like couple-y date stuff, and this one has like a lot more about the F1 racing and it's like more atmospheric, like about the places, whereas this one's like more like fun dates. Both are great. Definitely recommend both for the summer. Now I also, by Lauren Asher, I think I've talked about this book before too. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like all the Lauren Asher books I've read are just like give me summer vibes. I don't know. The Fine Print. So this is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaires series. Highly recommend this for summer because I don't know about you, but Spencer's parents live in Florida, so I go to Florida basically every summer. That's just what we do to see Spencer's parents, and it's hot and we get to go to the beach and they do have a pool. Oh, it's amazing. Anyways, so I read this last year while I was in Florida, which is like the best thing I think I could have done because it was basically about Disney World and we were in Florida, and like, so the climates match up, all the Disney World vibes, all the Florida vibes. It was kind of a perfect Florida summer read. So maybe if you're going on vacation, I don't know, I don't frequently vacation to Disney World, but if you do, definitely read this book, bring this book. If not, and you just want to fantasize, this will be perfect for that too, because that's what I did. So it's a romance book, it's amazing. I love Lauren Asher's writing. There's a little castle on the front, that's so fun. So now I will talk about the books that I don't physically have. First one I'm going to talk about, I lent it out to a friend. It's Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I'm pretty sure Sheridan, I think. I love this book. It takes place in like a small town romance vibes. She comes back to this town, or she goes to this town for the first time. You'll have to read it. There's this guy here who is completely deaf, and she's like the only one that really speaks sign language in the town. So like he's kind of an outcast. Nobody really knows how to communicate with him, but she does. So they kind of have this like small town romance, but it's just so sweet. Like their love is so like pure and genuine. It takes place on a lake. There's a diner involved. Oh, I love when a small town has a diner. That gave me really big summer vibes. Highly recommend if you like small town romance stuff. The next book is by Christina Lauren, and also a romance. I don't know why I'm recommending so many romances. Summer is just kind of the romance season. I guess. I feel like I read a lot of romance and like literary fiction in the summer. Okay, this is my last romance recommendation, I promise. This book is actually one of my 5-star reads, which is really, 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 really rare for me. I do not do 5 stars. I don't have a lot of them. This book quickly became one of my 5-star reads. I love this book. It is a romance. It reads like a literary fiction, but it takes place like throughout time. It's like flashback and present, and you're trying to like uncover what's happening in the present based on getting clues from the past. Like it'll give you these 2 characters from when they were younger, all throughout their life from when they were children up until now, and they had like this falling out and they haven't spoken in years. She sees him for the first time in years, and you're seeing them go through that while getting information about what happened all the way from the beginning, from when they were children. It is so amazing. Extreme summer vibes. She goes to this house that they are neighbors at every summer, and so that's how they spend their summers together. Love in Other Words. Did I say that already? Did I say it was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren? I don't even know if I said that. I love this book. Small town, childhood, best friends to lovers, summer house, boy next door, girl next door. If you think you would be interested in that, read that. The next book I have is not a romance. It is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak? I don't know. I love this book. I don't have the physical copy because Spencer's mom lent it to me last summer when we were in Florida. It is a mystery thriller about this girl who is basically nannying for this wealthy family for the summer, and that's like her summer job. But like strange things start happening. Things are a little off, and she tries to like uncover what's going on. I really liked it. This was like my second thriller I read after Silent Patient, which I also really loved, but I actually guessed the ending, which is something that people do not say about Silent Patient, so do not take that as like, oh my god, it's predictable. No, it's not. I don't know why I thought this. It was still a really, really good book, but for this book, I did not guess the ending at all. I had no idea what was coming. The twist, quick, easy read. I read it in like a day or less. It was very, very, very good. And I think he's a newer author, but yeah, basically she's a nanny and he starts to like draw these pictures, and she has to kind of figure out what these pictures mean. I think that's it for my summer recommendations. Yeah, I don't think I have any other ones. Now, I also would like to get into my TBR and what I'm going to be reading this summer. So first off, disclaimer, I don't want to offend any of the Colleen Hoover girlies in the comments, so I'm really sorry about this, but I read Verity like a long time ago just to see like what the hype was about. I had never read Colleen Hoover before, and I wanted to see what was up and if I would like her just as much as everyone else does. And I read Verity and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was like one of those books that's like just like an easy, quick read that's still pretty interesting and like a little outrageous, which sounds bad, but it's kind of interesting, right? Like sometimes you just need something that's gonna like catch your attention. You're like, wait, what? And that was what I felt like Verity was, but that's not the book I'm talking about. The book I'm talking about is It Ends With Us, which right now they're filming a movie. I'm sure you've seen Blake Lively everywhere. How beautiful is she in her red hair? I have not read this book, but I do feel like I need to read this summer, especially because the movie is gonna come out soon. I just want to see what the Colleen Hoover girlies are talking about. Another book I want to read is People We Meet on Vacation. I have not read this book. It actually is in Florida right now. I bought it at this amazing used bookstore there, and I left it there because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna read this book anywhere, It's gotta be Florida, right? I've never read an Emily Henry book before. I am so excited to start. So not only that, but I would like to read Beach Read, which I've also never read, and also Book Lovers, which I've never read. What's wrong with me? Am I okay? I feel like this is exactly the type of book that I would like. I don't know why I have not read it. Everybody loves her writing. People who meet on vacation, obviously I think it takes place on a vacation. Book Lovers, I also don't know. I think that one takes place in like summer houses and their authors, which that's gotta be amazing. And then I also want to read by Emily Henry, the book I'm so excited to read. I can't wait to have it in my hands. I go to Barnes & Noble and I look at it all the time because it's so beautiful. Happy Place. I'm so excited to read this book. I know it's like a romance/fiction book, and it's a couple that broke up, but they haven't told their friends yet, so they all go on vacation to this place that they always go. Their friends don't know, so they're like, I'm sure lots of chaos ensues from that. But I have also heard it's like kind of a life-changing book, and it talks a lot about relationships and communication. So I'm very, 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 very excited to read that. The cover alone is enough to make me buy it, but I'm super excited to dive into some Emily Henry this summer. It's like I'm making up for all the summers I didn't read Emily Henry. The next book I would really like to read this summer, which I'll probably read like towards the end of the summer, between summer and fall. The last week in August, where you're like just between the summer ending and spooky season starting. Spooky season for me, it starts in August. I know that's so wrong, but I just can't help it. Like when August comes around, I'm like, it's time. Can't deal with summer anymore. It's fall. Spooky season immediately. Anyways, so the book I'm gonna read for that weird transition is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazel. I still haven't read this book. What is going on? I am so excited to read this book. Everybody says it's basically just as good as Love Hypothesis, which is one of my favorite books ever, and she has pink hair. That's amazing. It can't be bad. I've had this book for so long and I still haven't read it. Been saving it kind of. I'm very, very excited to read this. I cannot wait. Also, when I did my book haul, I talked about getting this book at Books A Million for $3.97. It's Life and Death by Stephenie Meyer, which is just a retelling of Twilight, but like a gender swap. So like the vampire is a girl and the human is a guy. Super excited to read it, the 10th anniversary edition. I don't know if I said this in the last video, but she basically put in things in this book that she wished she would have done in Twilight. If you saw my last video, you may or may not know, I have a slight Twilight obsession. Whatever, I'm fine, it's fine. There's no cure, unfortunately. I'm very excited to read this summer. Forks, Washington isn't exactly summery, but again, this will be like more of a transition book. Something about Twilight just gives me summer because the first time I ever read them was in summer. And maybe that's the same for a lot of people. I know I did most of my reading as a kid during summer because that's the only time I could. Anyways, I think that just about wraps it up. Oh wait, let me look at my Kindle. Also look at my stickers. They're so cute. This summer, I also want to read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I've never read it. I know there are all these books that people have read already, but I have not. I also want to read, like I said, the rest of the Dirty Air series. I think those would be really good, like easy read summer books. I'll put the next 2 books here. Anyways, I also would like to read the Twisted Love series. Is that what it's called? They look like this. You've seen them in Barnes & Noble, I'm sure. I've heard nothing but good things about these books. And again, I think they're just easy, quick, like romance reads for the summer. Maybe I'll get all that done. Maybe I won't. I don't know. The options are endless. I'll probably go to Florida again, like I do mostly every summer, to see Spencer's parents. I will be reading all these books on the beach near the pool, and I'm so excited. That's about it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed my booktube segment of this YouTube channel. Don't ask me why it's here. But I kind of love doing book videos because I love books and I love reading, and I'm always reading, so always got something to talk about. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you do a lot of fun reading this summer. I hope you read some of these books by the pool or the beach. I don't know. I feel like that you gotta do it just once every summer. Go to the beach. Even if it's like a lake, pond, doesn't matter. Gotta get to a beach. So yeah, get to a beach, get to somebody's pool. You gotta make friends with the people who have a pool. I'm telling you, the key to having a successful summer is making friends with the people who have a pool. Maybe you found a book that I have or haven't read yet to add to your TBR too. I hope everyone has a good summer. See you later.